Hi, everyone. Happy Friday, and welcome to another episode of Mavens in Manufacturing. I'm here with Lindsay Corneal. She is from Grand Valley State University in Michigan. Thank you so much, Lindsay, for joining us today. How have you been?
I'm doing great. Thank you for inviting me to talk to you today.
Yeah, did you have a great New Year?
It was nice. Ready for 2020 to be done and starting 2021. I think it's going to be a better year.
Yeah, me too. Fingers crossed that we can get back to some sort of normalcy and be able to, socialize more and get out of the house. So, I know that you're a professor at Grand Valley State University in Michigan. Can you just provide us a bit of information about your role at the university and some of the things that you're working on there?
Sure. So I'm an associate professor at Grand Valley State University. I'm also the assistant director of the School of Engineering. And in my roles, I am very involved in our mandatory co-op program. That's what drew me to want to teach at Grand Valley, because I was in a co-op program as a student and saw the benefits of getting that real experience, seeing what industry is like before you graduate, and getting ready ahead of time. So I'm highly involved with that, helping our students prepare resumes, practice interviewing skills, and getting ready for their first engineering position while still being a student.
So is engineering something that you were always interested in or passionate about before you even started school? How did you get involved with engineering?
Honestly, I didn't know what engineering was until probably midway through high school. It was always an interest of mine to study math and sciences and build things. And so I think it just, once I found out that, hey, that's the skills that you use to be an engineer, I'm like, well, then this must be right for me. I just didn't know the word for it.
Right. And you said that the co-op program specifically at Grand Valley was something that interested you in that university. Can you give us more details on what specifically it was about that co-op program that attracted you to the university?
Yeah, so all of the Grand Valley State University engineering students are required to work for a company that does engineering work for 3 semesters. So over those 3 semesters, they're gradually given more responsibilities, and they're still being overseen by a degreed engineer, though. So by the time the student graduates, they've had work experience that brings them to the level of a full engineer, so that they know what to expect when they go out into the working world. And I know how valuable it had been to me as a student, and the fact that we require it of all our students, even though it's a little scary to interview for the first time, to go to your first engineering job, it makes it so much easier once you have your degree and now you're supposed to know what you're doing. You've already had the experience as a student.
And just to interrupt our live program real quick, we have Jake on line with us. Hi, Jake. Thanks for joining us. He is considered the manufacturing millennial. If you haven't heard of him on LinkedIn, you should seriously follow some of his videos. They're great. So thanks for joining us, Jake. And to anyone else out there that's listening, feel free to post questions during our conversation. We'd love to answer them during the talk. But as you were mentioning with the interview skills, I remembered like getting out of college, I graduated with a technical writing degree and had no idea where to go after that. So that's really, really cool that the co-op program provides that opportunity for your students. So what specifically is your role then with the co-op program? What do you plan out, like the curriculum? Like what's your role and responsibility?
I'm involved in teaching the classes that get the students ready to prepare their resumes and do the interviews. I also am a faculty advisor for students when they're out during their work experiences. So we're in weekly communication. I give them feedback on any concerns they bring up and how to address it in the workplace. It's kind of throughout the whole process that I'm involved. And it's not just me. There are a team of faculty members that work together because it really means a lot to all of the faculty at Grand Valley in the School of Engineering that we do have this co-op program. So many of our professors have come from industry, have that background, and know how valuable it is to get students ready to move on from school out into the working world.
Do you have any statistics on your success rate with the co-op program?
I don't have the exact values, but I know every year we get almost a full full employment post-graduation for all of our students. A number of them will stay with the co-op company that they worked for and begin working as a full engineer after graduation. Others use that experience that they've had and move on to a new position. The only students that aren't employed immediately after graduation are usually the ones that want to continue on for further education. They heard our graduation employment rates.
Right. And do you partner with any other companies or institutions through your co-op program?
We have a number of employers around the West Michigan area that we work with each year. They hire new students, and because it is a 3-semester rotation, they've always got one student there and then when that student goes back for a semester of school, they've got another student coming in for the next semester and so on. So there's a constant rotation, and they are looking to keep that pipeline of students in their co-op program or in their workplace. So those are really important sustaining companies. But then we're also adding new companies all the time, and we're beginning to branch out beyond just West Michigan. More and more of our students are expanding to positions in other parts of the state, even into some of the other neighboring states. So it's great to see. We've even had a few students that have co-opted at NASA. So
that's great. That would be such a fun place to go work and just see how they do everything and create everything. I'm a huge nerd for SpaceX and everything that Tesla's doing too. I know that's not aerospace, but just what SpaceX and NASA and the upcoming technologies that are coming with, aerospace, telecommunications. It's just, I'm really excited to see where all that stuff goes and how it's going to advance us further as a society. Another group that you're a part of is SWE, which is the Society of Women Engineers. Can you get more into that and describe what your experience has been with that organization and why it was important for you to join such an organization?
Yep. So I'm the faculty advisor for the Society of Women Engineers group. It's a great organization, and having a chapter at GVSU, it gives our students an opportunity to create a network or a support system in the engineering program. And I know from personal experience how important it is to get to know other female students. Because unfortunately, there are still too few of us in engineering programs. But then beyond GVSU, Society of Women Engineers also allows the students to connect with local professional female engineers through various events, either that we host or that the professional chapter hosts locally. And then the students also get the opportunity to attend regional and national Society of Women Engineers conferences. And so they engage with female engineers and engineering students from across the country. And so creating these networks and getting to expand your kind of circle of friends is really important to getting that sense of belonging, both just belonging at the school in the engineering program, but also belonging to the greater engineering community. So that it's just, I think, one of those ways that we can encourage females that have had an interest to stay and continue to pursue engineering, manufacturing, and any of these STEM programs.
Now, that's one of the things that I'm really interested in as well too, and one of the main reasons why I started Mavens of Manufacturing is there is a skills gap going on where, more positions are going to be available within engineering and manufacturing, and there's a shortage of talent, which I don't necessarily think that's fair to say that there's a shortage. I think the talent's out there. It's the interest in these specific areas that is lacking. Do you have any sort of personal opinion on why women aren't looking towards engineering positions or manufacturing positions? Do you have any personal opinion on that?
Well, personally, I've seen that the manufacturing landscape has really changed over the past couple decades, and manufacturing facilities, they're now much cleaner, more automated than they used to be, but there's still the stigma that manufacturing is going to be a dirty environment. And that persists despite the fact that it's no longer true. And so I think that there's many females that have that kind of misconception and kind of say, well, I'm interested in maths and sciences, but I don't really want to do manufacturing. That's not something that's, I would be interested in. It's going to be dirty work. And really, it's not the case. And when you get the combination of getting some industry experience younger as a student, and then also building that network of females and seeing more females out there through, not just things like the Society of Women Engineers, but other organizations and mentoring programs. I think that combination allows for some of the stigma of manufacturing to be overwritten and cleaned up or cleared up, so that more and more women hopefully will get into the field. I know I loved the manufacturing environments, both when I was working as a student and then when I was working in the automotive industry after graduation. I like that environment. It's fast-paced. There's always an issue to address. And I think that if more females understood that aspect of it, they'd be flocking to it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you on that. So you're in a leadership position both at the university and at the SWE. Is there anything in particular that you're doing or the SWE is doing to get more of the community involved in increasing the interest within engineering or manufacturing? Is there specific events that we should be aware of, activities? I know nationwide they do have Engineering Week and Manufacturing Day. Is there things that you guys try to do in parallel with those events? What are some of the things that you do to get the community more interested in such fields?
We do get involved in things like Engineering Week, but we also promote and get our students, the SWE students from Grand Valley, to help with events like the robotics events, the first robots, even the Lego leagues and all of those that encourage younger and younger students to pursue technical areas or fields, and showing their faces at the events as judges, as volunteers. It helps to let these young students that already have an interest see that it's not something that you just do for a while and then give up on, that it is something that you can pursue. And then we do various outreach and mentoring events in middle schools and high schools to continue just letting the younger students see our engineering students, ask them questions, find out what they do, what they enjoy about what they do, and making those connections.
Absolutely. Are there any partnerships within or between Grand Valley and some of the educational institutions, such as high schools or middle schools, that you are aware of? So for example, when I was in high school, I know there were certain courses that I could take that would be applied to certain college credits, depending on what track I decided to do. Is there something like that set up between Grand Valley and the surrounding high schools or middle schools in the area?
There are, and we've just recently made some changes to our first year engineering courses that will allow us to expand some of the course offerings that are available through high schools that would be transferable to Grand Valley in the engineering program. So we've made the changes for our current students, our Grand Valley students, but seeing that there's opportunities to expand it to draw students from high school to that have an interest, that are able to take certain classes in high school that would then be able to get them started off on their first couple credits at Grand Valley.
So this has been a great conversation, Lindsay, and one of the things that I like to ask all of the women that I speak with on the show is, what do you think women bring to the table within engineering manufacturing that's different from what men bring, that can really help elevate both engineering and manufacturing in the United States?
You know, that's a great question. I think just a new perspective. I don't like to make generalizations or use stereotypes, but I do know, especially during the pandemic right now, there are a lot of women that are doing a lot of work at home and for their place of employment. They're juggling a lot. And I think many women get used to doing that balancing act, multiple responsibilities, and finding ways to do it efficiently and effectively. And so I think those skills, those things you don't necessarily learn in school, are what women can bring, and that really can help the workforce overall.
And for one of my final questions, is there anything going on in the industry now that you're involved in that you're really excited about, or that you're kind of worried about? Like, what's one of the upcoming trends that you're seeing and you're really excited about, and why?
Well, some of the research I've been involved with is with the materials for lithium-ion batteries. And also with my background in the automotive industry, I know there's such a big push for electrification of vehicles, autonomous vehicles, all of this new technology being implemented. And I think that's great. But I think we also need a lot more research, a lot more work being done in how do we deal with these new technologies that eventually need to be disposed of. I've been looking at recycling of lithium-ion batteries, and there still isn't many commercially viable options for recycling lithium-ion batteries. And with the increased electrification of vehicles, that's an area that needs to be dealt with. And I think there's so much opportunity out there that it's a great area for new research and new development.
That's a great point. I did a panel discussion back in 2008, 2009, and it was when autonomous vehicles were first getting mentioned and talked about, and I had a conversation with different individuals within different areas. So I talked to semiconductor companies and sensor companies. I talked to a few college professors that were doing research and projects in like facial recognition technology, and really got a better understanding of how that it's not just the car that we need to focus on, but also the outside infrastructure that's going to be communicating with the car. And one of the challenges or obstacles that came up was the recyclability of lithium ion batteries. And you have all these parts that we're making, but they do have a life cycle, and eventually that is going to come to an end. So what do you do with all of this other material that's not going to be useful anymore? So I will really be interested in seeing like what research you can provide on that, and maybe offer, some of that to us so we can follow up with that in a write-up later on. But I just want to thank you for joining us on Mavens of Manufacturing today. Is there anything else that you would like to say? Maybe what advice you would give to younger generations thinking about engineering or manufacturing?
I think to everyone, just pursue what you're interested in. Don't listen to what family members say about, oh, this will be a good career for you. You should do this or you should do that. Pursue what you love and what interests you. And then all the work involved in getting to that point will be worth it and will be fun.
So if anyone's interested in learning more about Grand Valley State University, where should they look up that information?
The school's website is gvsu.edu. And then if you do /engineering, you will get the engineering specific site. And from there, you can get my contact information. Anyone can reach out to me if they have additional questions. And I will provide you with my contact information to post with this.
And is there anything in particular that you're working on right now that we should be aware of, or is that something you can't discuss right now?
I'm continuing to look at the recyclability of lithium-ion batteries. I have different industry companies that are interested in it, and in discussions about that. And then I'm also continuing to work developing our students to get out into industry and through the CoOp program.
Great. Well, thanks again, Lindsay, for taking the time out of your day to speak with us today. I really enjoyed speaking with you. I want to thank everybody else out there too for listening in. Please join us again next week for another episode of Mavens of Manufacturing. And I hope you all have a great and wonderful weekend. Stay safe.
Thank you.
This has been another episode of Mavens of Manufacturing. Subscribe for more and make sure to tune in next time.